Hey, what's going on? I've got something a little different for you guys here today. You guys who follow the channel know I like to keep this thing kind of outdoor recreational based, and one of those things I like to do is fishing, so I will do some fishing videos every now and then. I actually did a rooster tail or a Yakima rooster tail video about maybe a year or so ago. I was kind of just getting into fishing again at the time, relearning everything, and I was curious on the sizes between some of the smaller rooster tails, and I didn't find any good pictures or any video, so I just decided to make a video of my own. So with that said, I've had a lot more luck with the rooster tails since the making of that, and I've grown to really like them, especially when I'm fishing freshwater bodies where I'm doing like multi-species fishing and I just don't really know what's out there, if anything. So I'll throw these a lot and kind of vary the colors depending on where I am and the water color and all that stuff. So I actually went out and picked up what I believe is every size of Yakima rooster tail that you can buy. I think there may be some bigger than these, but as far as Amazon listing goes, I bought the cheapest one I could get for the size I didn't have, and I bought all the sizes they had. So I bought about maybe 3/4 of these because I didn't have about 3/4 of them. So the bigger ones here I actually didn't unbox because they're so big I'll probably never use them, or at least not anytime soon. In fact, even these two down here, maybe even these three that are unboxed, I may not even use those. We'll see. But they come in about a million different colors, obviously a lot of different sizes, and I have a quarter down here for a frame of reference, as you can tell. But let's just work from the smallest to the biggest. We have in ounces, this is a 1/32, 1/24, 1/16, 1/8, 1/6, 1/4, 3/8, half an ounce, 3/4 ounce, and then the big guy down here is a full ounce. So this guy is pretty hefty, as you can tell in my hand here, pretty darn big, and this is hefty. I bet you can get some good casting distance out of something like this. I imagine something that this is probably used for obviously larger fish, but I'm not sure if you probably use this on even some bigger northerns, I would guess, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Most of the stuff I do, again, is freshwater, and it's the smaller stuff. So for me, what I generally tend to throw, for the most part, when I'm not as familiar with what's in the water, is usually the 1/8. I find the 1/8 is a good size. I've caught some fish that will like gulp these down that are so small, I'm surprised they even got the hook in their mouth, and I have to be pretty careful pulling that treble out, being that you know, their mouth is small relatively compared to the hook. So I would say for my use, and I would guess probably the 1/8 is probably the most common for general use. The fish I've caught on this are just, they vary greatly in species. I've caught darn near everything on these Yakima rooster tails, especially the 1/8. I would say, let's see here, bluegill, crappie, some small walleye, yellow bass, actually some decent sized yellow bass. I caught like maybe a 3.5 pound largemouth, creek chub, pumpkin seeds. What's the other one? I caught some northern on one of these ones, surprisingly. Went out because kind of fresh in a body of water. Wasn't really sure what was out there. Started catching some bluegill and then some largemouth. And then I went up a size, I think it was to one of these two, and started catching northern, some smaller to medium northern, and went up to another similar rooster's tail style spinner, a little bit bigger than these two, and just started catching a little bit bigger northern. So it was a fun day, multi-species fishing. Wasn't really targeting anything specific, but the 1/8 I feel like is probably a good first starter. When we get down to the smaller ones here, obviously these are going to be better for smaller fish. I find that for my use personally, I would probably throw these more for like the trout that are kind of in my area, because they're, you know, smaller trout, usually stock and stuff like that. We've caught them on the 1/8, but I feel like it's a little bit too big, maybe, depending on the time of year and the fish themselves that they want to eat. But I think the 1/16 and the 1/24 are probably a good trout size. The 1/32 here is kind of unique in that it has a different style or type of spinner. It moves closer to the camera, as you can tell. This is actually my only 1/32. I bought this back for that other video and haven't any chance to tie it on and throw it yet. I probably should, but it's got a small treble, different style spinner, which is kind of neat. And I'm not really sure how this goes through the water with a different spinner, but I assume it would work well. But anyway, that's it. Don't need to make this video too long. If you guys have any questions, let me know. I'll put links to these down below for Amazon, like Amazon affiliate stuff. Again, I've had great luck with the Yakima Rooster Tails. They seem to work really well, at least for me, for my area in the Midwest, freshwater fishing, especially when there's multi-species fishing where I'm not really sure 100% what's out there, and then I can kind of vary the lure, or even just stick to the rooster tail and vary the size a bit. But most of my fishing is between the 1/16 and probably the 1/6. So, all right. Let me know if you guys got any questions. Check you later.